Hi, everyone, and welcome to Transitions. I'm your host, Anne Wagner, and today we're broadcasting from Hunters Bay Radio Satellite Studio at Nipissing University in Bracebridge. Today, my guest is Suzanne MacEachern. And Suzanne, I'm going to let you name the agency that you work with, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about your role there.
Hi, I'm Suzanne. Thank you for having me. I am from the Canadian Mental Health Association, Muskoka-Parry Sound, and I'm a project coordinator there. I've had several roles with the agency in my tenure over the last 5 years, starting in the Housing and Homelessness Program. And currently I'm really enjoying working in the project coordination role because it allows me to do a number of different things. Recently I've helped with our integration of Muskoka-Parry Sound Community Mental Health Service and Addiction Outreach Muskoka-Parry Sound, which has brought us together to be the Canadian Mental Health Association of Muskoka-Parry Sound. All the same services, all the same people, under the same roof, but with a new name and sign.
Well, you do an incredible job of conveying the new name, because that's always challenging when you've said for 5 years now, you've been saying a different name. Mm-hmm. But wonderful. And so I understand you have a number of events that you're working on right now. Could you tell us what's coming up?
Yeah, so next week we have Mental Health Week, which is an awareness week to raise awareness about mental health issues and bring attention to the stigma associated with mental health and encourage people to live a healthier lifestyle, including their mental health. So in addition to that, we have at the end of May the Defeat Depression Walk. We have one happening in Parry Sound at Wabano Beach on May 23rd. And we have one happening in Huntsville, starting at the Canada Summit Centre on May 30th. That'll be at 10 a.m. The one at Wabano Beach starts at 1 p.m. On that same day, May 30th, in Huntsville, we have the gala evening of Hope and Healing with Victoria Banks. And that evening is going to be another fundraising event. And all of the funds raised from all of these events will be going toward our public education program, which is a new initiative. Our board had identified a gap in service that we don't have enough resources to provide broad public education regarding addictions and mental health. So this was an opportunity to raise some funds and raise some awareness around these issues to be able to provide more information.
Excellent. So now you mentioned the Defeat Depression, and some of our listeners may be familiar with it. But for those who aren't, can you tell us what this is all about, this event, and what it'll look like that day?
Yeah, so the Defeat Depression is a national mental health awareness, anti-stigma, and fundraising campaign that helps provide hope for people affected by depression and other mood disorders. So it's in cooperation with the Mood Disorders Society of Canada. Across Canada, mental health organizations, community groups, concerned businesses and individuals will volunteer and plan walks, runs, and other physical and social activities encouraging people to move for mental health. Depression is a common illness affecting many individuals and families in our communities and across Canada. It strikes all socioeconomic, educational, and cultural backgrounds. No one is insulated from this. So physical activities such as walking and running, along with social interactions, can have a positive effect on mental health and open up the dialogue to help people understand mental illness and break down the barrier of stigma.
Now, I've participated in the Defeat Depression Walk a couple of times, and what really struck me is it's not an event only for athletes.
No, it's absolutely an inclusive event. We invite everybody to come out and join us. So it's open to moms with strollers, people who are out for a walk with their dog. It's a nice, easy walk in Huntsville where we started at the Summit Center, and we loop around Can Lake coming back to the Summit Center. It's about 2 kilometers. So we encourage everybody to come out on what we hope will be a beautiful spring day and participate. I even have one of our strongest volunteers who has committed to walking even if she needs to bring her walker just to be secure.
Good for her. Yeah. Well, I mean, we were quite a crew last year. I remember going up a hill and someone slid right out of her sandals on a steep hill.
Okay, so wear good walking shoes. We would encourage that, but it is a gentle walk that is open to everybody, and we really encourage all walks of life to come out. So as I've gone out doing some of my public education work, I've challenged our local OPP, I've challenged the EMS, I've challenged some of our community partners, other social service agencies and human service agencies, as well as anybody who comes across my path. I was talking to my dentist and my hairdresser this week saying, come on out and join us. It's for a great cause and it should be a fun day.
And one of the things that struck me at the last event was the sense of camaraderie. Mm-hmm. People are really friendly. You get to meet new people, bump into old friends, and it's really a welcoming event.
Yeah, I think so. That's really one of the focuses is about, mental health touches all of us at some point in time in our life, with 1 in 5 Canadians being impacted by it. So we encourage both the consumers of our agency. We actually provide a bus coming from the northern communities, from Powassan. This is from our COI group, the Consumer of Family Initiatives, that will be providing a bus to bring people to the walk on that day, coming down from South River, Sundridge, Powassan, through to Huntsville. And, everyone is welcome to join.
Excellent. So if I were someone who's hearing about this for the first time and I want to get involved, how would I go about doing that other than just showing up on the day?
So you can go to defeatdepression.ca and you can click on a link for your local community. So you can click on either Huntsville or Parry Sound in our area. And there's a registration page that you can open up your own registration. You can register as an individual. You can register as a team. You can invite friends, family, coworkers to come out and join. It's a great opportunity to customize your page and talk about why you're walking, what your commitment to mental health is, or how you've been touched or affected. There's some really great personal stories out there that people are sharing. And again, in sharing in that way, it's also connected to Facebook. It allows people to talk about their experience, which makes it much easier for other people to open up and talk about their experience with mental health.
So in a way, it's a conversation starter then.
It really is. As I said, everywhere I go, I'm talking about it because I'm involved in it. I'm pretty passionate about it. And I'm always surprised by how people are ready to share. As soon as somebody else talks first, it makes it okay for them to talk about their experience. And as I said, so many people have been touched in so many ways. We've had a significant opportunity presented to us, a wonderful opportunity. Your independent grocer in Huntsville, Randy Robinson is the owner, and through a public education session, I connected with one of his staff members and learned that their store had been significantly impacted by mental health issues. And he took it upon himself to become an ambassador for us, so he's got involved in a big way and has challenged members of the Huntsville Chamber of Commerce to get involved and support. So Randy Robinson has pledged to support us with about $6,700 this year toward this campaign. And we're just thrilled to have this kind of support. We've never sought corporate sponsorships before. We've always done this as an awareness campaign. So this is new for us, and thrilling that we're going to be able to offer some public education because of this.
Well, I think that they deserve recognition. Yigs in Huntsville it is.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think it also sends a message to all of us. We're all part of different organization with their volunteer or staff, and we could get behind it and put forward a team or challenge our employer to become a corporate sponsor.
Yeah, it's really a great grassroots opportunity where you can get together with your book club, your church, wherever. And one of the neat things is when we're out there talking about this, not only is it asking people to get involved in the events and come out to the gala or come out to the walk, when we talk about it, people often say to me, you really need to come and talk to my church group. There are people there that need to learn more about mental health or are interested in learning more. So those opportunities are things that are arising out of this conversation that are really important to us and that we're capitalizing upon.
So it really does speak to the amount that this is still something that is many people feel the need to keep hidden or secret, that they don't talk openly about their mental health challenges.
Definitely. The stigma really prevents people from looking for the resources that they need. There's just that concern that somehow they'll be seen as different, other. So that's what we want to challenge and get people talking about it, that mental health is really part of your overall health.
And what a great strategy. It's very public. I know when I was one of the people walking, people were stopping me and asking, why are we doing this? What's it about? And it really did start conversations.
Right. So this year we're hoping to have reasons why I'm walking that people can write right on their T-shirt, or they can write it on a card and pin it to themselves, so that people come to understand that it's important to all of us, and everybody walks for their own reasons. So the more we talk about it, the more it makes it all right for people to go out and look for the help that they need.
What a great strategy. So we're just going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Suzanne MacEachern. Hi, welcome back to Transitions. I'm Anne Wagner, and I'm talking today with Suzanne MacEachern. So, Suzanne, you've told us about Defeat Depression, but you had mentioned there's another big gala event coming up.
Yeah, so for a number of years we've had a gala where we've had a speaker or an entertainer with a focus on mental health. The Gala Evening of Hope and Healing this year with Victoria Banks is going to be a special event. It's the first time that we've done this as a fundraising event, so we are selling tickets for $50. And again, all of the proceeds raised will be going toward our public education. And we were thrilled to have Victoria as our entertainer because she's also going to share her lived experience with mental health. Being a suicide survivor. So when I began to work on organizing this event, I was looking all over for a suitable speaker, and I wasn't having a lot of luck. And when I came across Victoria, the reason I found her is she'd written a blog about the things you say that hurt a suicide survivor. And she'd written it shortly after Robin Williams' death. And one of the things that she said is that often people will say that the person who died by suicide was selfish. And she said her mom, who she lost, was the most generous and giving and thoughtful person ever, but she was ill. So I was really touched by her blog, and I wrote her a letter and said, it would be wonderful to have you share your story with others because it's really important for them to hear from the heart how people are impacted by mental health issues. And the other thing that was important to us is that she has a great connection with Muskoka, originally from Port Carling area and going to school here in Bracebridge. She understands the socioeconomic factors that impact the people living in our region. So there's, the long, cold winters, which we're just emerging from now, the seasonal employment, the geographical distances, the isolation, those kind of factors. So I think she's going to be an excellent spokesperson and a wonderful entertainer for those that enjoy great country music. So we're excited to have her. That same evening, we're going to be doing a silent auction, and we're receiving donations right now toward that. I've got some wonderful art ready to go up. So the doors will open at 7 o'clock for the silent auction, and Victoria will go on stage at 8 o'clock, and we think it's going to be a fabulous evening, and again, we're inviting everyone to participate.
Very good. So it's going to be not just a musical event, but there'll also be that
opportunity to learn, yeah.
Absolutely. And from a heartfelt perspective, it won't just be agency people talking about services.
Yeah, this connects really well with the way that we hope to present public education, and that is sharing the lived experience of somebody that's been touched by mental health issues. And so when I go out and do public education presentations to whether it's some of our community partners, I've recently spoke with emergency services in the Parry Sound area, I've chatted with OPP, I've connected with some of our other community partners like the Y. When we do that public education piece, I could sit and talk about the name of our agency, the huge geographical area that we serve because we serve both Muskoka and Parry Sound. I could talk about all of the services that we have, and they are many. But what people really remember is when somebody shares their story and says, I was really helped by our court support worker, or I got so much out of group and felt very supported by going to the COI drop-in or going to one of our other groups. So that's what people tend to remember is that somebody, and they identify with the speaker. So when somebody shares their experience, they can say, wow, that really reminds me of my own experience, or that reminds me of my neighbor or my son. So that's how we've chosen to do our public education, that personal story and being able to relate to one another as human beings is what makes the contact so much more powerful.
And it seems to me that personal connection is really important, especially since you've mentioned the issue of stigma a couple of times. So it really does reduce the stigma when we're not talking about a category of people. We're now talking about a real person that we're connecting with on an emotional level who's sharing with us their experiences.
Absolutely. And, part of what we're doing with the public education piece is some of the people who I work with that have volunteered to share their stories, they're representing all walks of life. We have men and women. We have people of all ages. We have people that have come through an addiction issue as well as a mental health issue. So we want to make sure that people realize these issues aren't impacting any one specific group of people. They're across the spectrum. Everybody can be touched by them. And the other thing is that they're not only the person who has a diagnosis. There's a ripple out effect when you're dealing with addictions and mental health. Families are impacted, children are impacted. So when you share those stories, we hear from those people as well. It's often a friend or a family member who makes a first call that says, hey, I'm noticing this thing with my loved one or with my friend, and I'm not sure what to do. So that's an important piece of the work that we do, so that people understand that our services are for everyone.
That's a really important point, because oftentimes if you're not the person who's identified as the quote-unquote client or the person facing these challenges, you don't really see yourself as deserving of service or support.
Exactly. And as I said, those are often the people who call saying, I'm not sure where to turn to for help, but so-and-so needs this. And you say, but you know what? There's help for you here as well. If you want to come in and talk to people, there's someone here that can support you or give you more information.
And so now if people are interested in attending the gala, how do they go about getting tickets?
So we're busy at this point putting posters up around town and doing some promotion for the event. You can call myself at 705-645-2262, extension 288, at the Canadian Mental Health Association, Muskoka-Parry Sound. Or my email is smacechron at cmhamps.ca. If you call the agency, they will find me and put you in contact. And we have a number of the people that are working on my committee that will have tickets, and we'll be looking to sell them at different areas as well. They will also be available at reception at each of our main offices.
And picking up on the example of Robinson's Grocery, Yigs in Huntsville, are you still accepting donations for the silent auction?
Absolutely. We've had some wonderful donations so far. There's some really great art that has been donated. We've had some donations from the Rock Golf Course. What else have we got? One of our lovely volunteers has donated a crocheted Afghan that's beautiful. So yeah, we're welcome to everything and anything. So I think one of the things that we do is we take an attitude of gratitude.
Oh, very nice.
So large or small, everything is accepted with great thanks.
So if someone maybe owns a business and is looking for a way to give back to the community, this would be one possible avenue then.
Yeah, services are great. Or, if somebody wants to give a donation of an item from their business, that would be wonderful.
Excellent. And of course, as always, all the information you've provided and your contact information and so forth we'll put up on our website so that people can have access to that. Because many of us, when we're listening to the radio, maybe we're driving, we don't have a pen and paper handy to write things down. And so, again, are these funds all going to be devoted towards public education initiatives?
Yeah, so with the Victoria Banks, as I said, we've never done this as a fundraiser before. The plan with our Resource Development Committee is to look to fund public education. In the past, when we have had funds to do this, we've run the Mental Health First Aid course, which is a 2-day certificate-bearing course, which we've offered to the public for free. We hope to have more ventures like that. We also hope to do suicide intervention and prevention training at some point. So we've just started. This is our first year. We'll be reporting on our activities at this year's annual general meeting. But we have a 5-year plan to keep working towards raising funds specific to doing public education.
Wonderful. Now, if someone is interested in supporting the work of the organization, maybe is interested in the area of mental health and addictions or has experience with it and wants to get involved in some way, but maybe can't attend either of these events, do you have any ideas about how they can get involved?
Absolutely. So we have on our website set up donations online. So if a financial contribution is the most sensible thing or fits your lifestyle, that's an easy way to contribute and support our work. You can come out as a volunteer. We have a very strong volunteer workforce, and they would connect with our volunteer coordinator, Susan Adams, by calling the agency. We take an attitude of gratitude. If people have a special talent or gift that they want to share, sometimes we have artists that come in and work with our groups. Music is another great gift that people could share, whether they're coming in to entertain or maybe do short lessons. When I talk to people, the offers are diverse, and even the people that are sharing their stories, they have something to give that's very meaningful and valuable to us, because it allows other people to talk about their experience and makes it okay for them to look for help. So, yeah, I think there's lots of opportunities and ways for people to become involved, whether it's a gift of their time, their talent, or their treasure.
So it sounds like just about anyone can get involved and contribute.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, Suzanne, we're out of time now, but I want to thank you so much for coming in and telling us about these exciting initiatives. I hope our listeners will be interested in joining us at all these events.
Thank you for having me, and I hope to see you out on either May 23rd or May 30th for the Defeat Depression Walk or for the Gala Evening with Victoria Banks.
Absolutely. Thank you. And as always, you can refer to our website and get all the contact information and links to information that Suzanne has provided today. So that's all for this week. I look forward to joining you again next week. Thanks for listening to Transitions. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas about future shows, you can reach us at transitions@hbr@gmail.com. That's transitions@hbr@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.